You may be seated if you so wish.
Thank you.
Madam, you've given evidence in the court before during the trial we had in this matter. Is that correct?
Yes, I have, my lady.
And you can still remember your evidence?
Yes, I do.
You confirm the contents of the evidence you gave?
Yes, I do.
Now, Madam, it's now a year and more later. Do you still think of Reeva?
Every single day. Not a day goes by without thinking about her.
How are you coping?
My lady, coping, yes, because you've got to get on with your life. But the scars, the effect runs very, very deep. We'll never completely get over it. But I'm a mother of 3 children. I have to cope. I have to be an example for them. I have to give them hope for the future. They're at an age where they need to be able to make sense of what has happened. So I have to be strong for them. So coping, because we have to, yes. But getting over it, no.
And your children, are they coping?
I try, as a mother, do the best job that I can. They are young and find it very hard to process what has happened. It's been 3 years now since the incident, my lady. And at different stages, I see different effects coming through on my children. I don't want to, for sensitivity reasons, explain exactly what my children have been through, as I did previously, because I've seen the effects on them, but they suffer very much because of this.
Has it changed your life?
Yes, it's changed my life completely. Besides the obvious anxiety and depression, as a family, we'll never ever be able to carry on like normal. You know, just standing in the queue at a shopping centre poses difficulty. You know, people don't recognise you and they start mentioning the trial, or they start mentioning Oscar, or they start mentioning Reeva. And you can never be prepared for what might come up. You know, I attended a workshop a couple of weeks ago, a self-awareness workshop. And without the people realising, the lecturer started speaking about Oscar and his gun complex. And I just went cold. You know, it's never going to leave us.
You, apart from you, your children, the broader family, how are they coping?
My dad, for instance, I saw my dad cry for the very first time when Reeva died, and I saw him cry for the very second time when he heard that I had to testify again. It's very unfair what our family's been put through. You know, losing a family member that was such a big part of our lives in the way that we did, and then to have to be exposed to the media, to have to sometimes defend ourselves, it's very difficult.
Talking about media, do you know anything of an interview that the accused gave to the media?
The only thing that I do know is what I've heard on the radio and TV, that he's going to be doing, he's done an interview, and that it's going to be viewed on the 24th of June.
And how do you feel about that?
I'm not happy about that at all. I just think it's very unfair to want to talk to the world about your version when you had the opportunity in court to do so. And it's just, it's hurtful. I just don't understand why. I can't understand why.
So, as a family, you have Christmases and birthdays. How does that affect the family of Reeva's?
It's terrible because we want to be there for each other. We want to be able to celebrate. And for me, for my children, I can't let every special occasion be about Reeva being murdered, about not saying anything. We have to celebrate. We have for them, my youngest daughter is 17 years old. She doesn't deserve to have every special occasion cut short. As it is, Valentine's Day is the worst day for us. Christmas, we all want to be together, but we're also scared to mention something. We're going to set somebody off. We want to honour Reeva's memory by leaving seating, like we said, by putting the candle out for her. But we don't want every occasion to become a funeral,
And your Uncle Barry, how's he coping?
As far as I'm concerned, my uncle is a broken man. He lives day to day on his phone, just watching the posts about Reeva. The guilt as a father, not being able to protect his daughter. It's very difficult for him.
You've said during consultations that you expected something of the accused from the start. What was that?
I didn't hear your question.
You explained that you expected something from the accused from the start of the trial. What was that?
And my lady, all we've ever wanted is the truth. And I know people said, but you got the truth, but we didn't. Oscar's version changed so many times. And I never ever heard him saying that I apologize for shooting and murdering Reeva behind that door. I don't feel there was an apology from him. I don't feel the true version came out. We just wanted the truth. That's what we wanted.
Thank you, lady. Nothing further.
Yes, Mr. Van.
Thank you, my lady. Ms. Martin, I was very, very careful when Mr. Steenkamp gave evidence because I understand the pain. But there comes a point that I have to draw a line. And where we also must focus on what's going on with the accused in this matter. And I've unfortunately reached that point. I'm going to read to you some transcripts and some interviews, including one of yours.
Okay, may I sit down?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Good night.
And I will demonstrate and later argue to the court how everyone either did not know what was going on in the relationship or experience his relationship with the deceased as a good relationship. But then, after hearing rejected evidence in this court and media publications about rejected evidence, then suddenly he became the villain. And I'm going to take you through it. What was before this court in the bail application, and I just want to deal with the relationship between the accused and Reeva, the deceased, and how it was experienced by her close friends. Samantha Gravenstein, that was undoubtedly her closest friend, described this in a statement that's part of the record. After saying that Reeva was her best friend, paragraph 7, after a while Reeva and Oscar started dating. Reeva told me that Oscar was amazing and he treated her like gold, and that she thought they had a lot in common. Reeva told me she really liked Oscar. The relationship slowly progressed and became more serious. Reeva often mentioned how happy she was and that Oscar made her feel that way. And I want to read the second part to you, and then I will go also to what Gina Myers, another best friend, was saying. Paragraph 9. Reeva confided in me that even though she and Oscar had not been together for very long, she really loved Oscar and she could see a future with him. She told me that if Oscar asked her to marry him, she would probably say yes.
Sorry, my lady, was this still Sam Cravenstein saying
That's
this?
right.
Okay.
Do you have any comment?
Yes, first I'd like to say that I didn't even know Sam Cravenstein, so she might have been quite close to Reeva at the time, but I didn't know that she was even a friend of Reeva's. And I asked Reeva, and I was very close to Reeva. Reeva and I were like sisters. I asked her, "Are you happy?" And she said to me, after shrugging her shoulders, she smiled and she went, "Oh, we will speak later." I could see she was bubbly. I could see she was excited. And I could see there was a fondness for Oscar, but I did not see any love. So Reeva had opportunity to tell me that she loved Oscar, and she never did. We spoke over WhatsApp.
Is that as far as Reeva went in discussing Oscar with you, to shrug her shoulders?
When I asked her, when I questioned her feelings for Oscar,
Yes.
and I questioned her happiness, that's as far as she went, yes.
And that's where it stopped.
Yes.
We'll get back to it.
Okay.
And we'll get back to an interview that you gave
Okay.
and your previous evidence. And then you will see why I said in the beginning that I'm sort of concerned. Another friend also wanted to be described as a best friend was Gina Myers. You know her?
Very well. As far as I'm concerned, she was Reeva's best friend.
Yes. There are two interviews, live interviews. The one was with Mandy Wiener on 27 February 2013, so shortly after the event. And I'm going to read the question to you, and I think you can accept what I say, otherwise we'll play it. And how did she feel about the new relationship? I can tell you that was a reference to Mr. Pistorius. Answer. She was happy. I think in every relationship there's ups and downs, and you know stuff that you go through when it is a new relationship. But everything was normal. Let me read the second one.
Who was she interviewing? Sorry.
She gave an interview to Mandy Wiener.
No, who was...
Gina Myers.
Okay.
You want to comment on that or wait for the second one?
No, wait. Thank
The second one was with Andrew Harding of BBC. Same day, 27 February 2013. Question. Do you think Reeva was happy? Answer. I did. And in a relationship? Yes. Any comment? You don't have to comment. Ask if you have any comment.
Yes, hello, thank you. I can't speak for Gina, my lady. I've heard lots of things about how Reeva felt about Oscar. I don't really know what the point is. I mean, yes, I know she liked Oscar. I don't think she loved him. I think she was very fond of him. I think she had a very soft spot for him. I can't comment on... I don't understand what you want me to comment on
No,
their feelings.
It's just a decent thing to do.
Okay.
Now, you said previously in your evidence that when you asked her about the relationship, she really didn't tell you, she shrugged her shoulders. And you talk later, but that occasion never occurred.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
So you don't really know what was in the relationship?
Correct.
Yeah. Can I remind you what your previous evidence was? And it concerns me, because the court must work on this. At page 3647, and then I will go to an interview that you had with Pierce. You were asked about it. You explained at the bottom of 3647. You explained that when Reeva was an adult, she was living in Johannesburg. She confided in me what that relationship, what it was about, and what it had done to her, and how it affected her, and to what extent it was, how abusive it actually was. That was your previous evidence, and we know now you could not say that.
What relationship are you speaking about?
I object, yes, my lady. We should make sure that we're talking about the relationship with Oscar, because it's not.
Well,
That's not. I never said that about her relationship with Oscar. I said that about her previous, one of her very first relationships.
well, if you're right, then I will apologize, because I'm reading it here. You say, do you say that had nothing to do with Oscar?
That had nothing to do with
Then I
Oscar.
apologize. Then it's wrong. My understanding then is, and I really apologize, then it's a wrong reference to you. Let's go to the interview. Can you remember that you had an interview? It was aired 20 February 2013, shortly after the event.
Very clearly, yes.
And you were asked about this, and you said the following: would this be correct? When did Reeva tell you that she was dating Oscar Pistorius? Can you remember that?
Okay.
That was the question, yeah.
Yes.
You don't have. And you answer, well, I saw it in the news first, and that was about only 2 months ago. When it first came out, there was rumors. When she attended one function with him, and I remember I sent her a message, and I said, is it true, cuz? And at the time she said no, but he's a very nice guy. And that's basically it. She never really spoke much to me about him other than that. Would that be correct?
That's correct.
So all that you really know is that she described him as a nice guy. And that's as far as it went.
Correct.
You know about the Valentine's card that she made for him saying, I love you?
Other than hearing about it in court, no.
I have no further questions, thank you.
No re-examination.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Smart, for your assistance. You may be excused.
Thank you.
That concludes the evidence for the statement.
Thank you very much.